Hello! You know what? Hold on. I have to Google a word. And it may or may not be apoplexy. I'm familiar with it. Unconsciousness or incapacity resulting from a cerebral hemorrhage or stroke. See, I learned a word today. I always knew the word existed. I just didn't ever, I've heard of it. I've never used it in a sentence. So I never went to what are they called? The fairs where you spell words. A spelling bee. There we go. I never went to a spelling bee, and I never got the word apoplexy, and I never said, "Can you please put this in a sentence?" Myth always got knocked out on the first shot of spelling bees. Spell boat. I'm like, fuck. Oh, you mean that kind of stroke? I thought you meant the deadly kind. Hey, you know what? Sometimes, depending upon when you finish those strokes, man, they could be deadly. Look, sometimes you finish those off, and the price you pay can be a bit high. That could be the deadly kind, exactly. Look. Just think of it this way: with the right kind of belt around your neck, that could be a deadly stroke. Oh. Okay. Well, with that out of the way. Oh, we're all terrible fucking people. Myth is going to have a stroke when Geisha tells him about the new damage to our vehicle during the act. No, I have never damaged Geisha's vehicle during acts of percussion, okay? Or percussive maintenance, as we call it. Percussive maintenance is usually the kind of maintenance you do to maintain a relationship, okay? She damaged it. Learn to read. Hey, look, I'm saying percussive maintenance as a joke, and you can't seem to pick up on that, so that's your fucking fault. You're so goddamn stupid. Look, just because you can't... Why are the Scipii wandering around my freaking backyard? I do not like this. Alright. Okay, here we go. So, these bastards, these wolf people, these dog people, because they didn't have butt sex slaves, that is probably more true than not. Now, the problem is that I have about 19,000 and change per turn going my way, which isn't bad. Which is not bad. The problem is that I'm going to need a lot more freaking money. I'm going to need a lot more goddamn money. So, first things first, let's get some, oh, I can't do that. Now, about the Greeks, because I think Fokker's onto something here. Those dirty, filthy, horrible, Grecos, and they were rightfully destroyed, as they should have been. It is not right that, these people, get a chance to live when, I don't. Because right now, these people, these disgusting, horrible Slavic people, is what I'm going to call them, they don't deserve to live. And so they didn't.
Leave us be.
Fine. The Pontii don't want to be friends? Fine, we don't have to be friends. The naked athlete people. See, look, just because... Alright, I'm just saying. For the people that thought they were really smart in history, the fact that they wrestled each other naked and it was fine is one of two things. Either, essentially, the equivalent of, let me show my fetish on screen, or the most comfortable people in the world. I don't know which, but based on their behavior, I would say they're like, hey, let me show you my fetish, but not, I don't want to say it's a fetish. That's my 10 cents on the whole thing, okay? Now, I have a problem, and that problem is I have all these dirty Romans down here, and they gotta go. They gotta go, all of them gotta go. So, the next problem I have is I've got these filthy Romans up here, and they also gotta go. Like, I can't be allowed... These people cannot be allowed to live. Like, this... It is disgusting how much these people are allowed to live. It makes me physically ill to think of these people as surviving. These Greco boys gotta go. They gotta go. And there's nothing they can do to stop me. Nothing. I mean, they can. They could probably beat the living snot out of me right now. Those filthy blue Romans are trespassing. It's worse. It's worse than that. They're not just trespassing. They're trespassing and they're taking money that belongs to me. I drop that down. So we're gonna end like maybe 3 or 4 turns, and then we're gonna start looking into some options for kicking some teeth. Okay. Oh, that's war. Exactly. They shouldn't be taking all my goddamn money. They shouldn't be doing that. Look, eventually, we will get to the point where we're sacking Jerusalem, but that's for a different reason, and I can't wait to tell my jokes then. But that's going to be like 50 years from now, because Rome 1, like, the stage 1 is Rome conquers everything. Stage 2 is Rome conquers everything, but a little bit differently. Now, here's the kicker, right? Here's the kicker. I have this little army here that I was planning to go and... Jeez, I have a lot of guys over here. I was going to go and attack these guys, but I'm not sure if I want to do that. See, I'm about to go to war with all the very mean people in the world. And I'm not sure...
Accept this gift.
Wait, what? No. Okay.
Our thanks.
So... They just gave me 1,000 gold. Go Uncle Sam on their asses. Uncle Sam doesn't tolerate anybody fucking with his money or his boats. I would love to believe that, but Uncle Sam tolerates lots of people messing with the money. Oh my god, if that was true, we wouldn't have any of the... We would have so much fucking money. Oh my god, we have so much goddamn money. Oh, it's giving me genuine happiness to think about all the money we'd have. The problem is that I need to start strengthening up some of these places over here. And they... see, hold on. We need to get some auxiliaries in here. I need more soldiers in there. Some real soldiers. There we go. Let's get some cohorts up in there. I need to make sure that we are not about to go to war and I'm about to just screw myself royally, okay? I need to make sure that whenever we do go to war, try not paying your taxes to see if Uncle Sam doesn't come knocking on your door. No, Uncle Sam will knock on my door, but he won't knock on my door the way that he would knock on, I don't know, like anybody else's door. He's gonna knock on my door with a freaking battering ram. That's what he's gonna do. As is the traditional way of dealing with the IRS. See, I don't have enough money to say, hey, I'm gonna lock you into court for the next 6 years and burn $10 million so you get your 200,000. I am not that wealthy. And see, that's always one of the wonderful parts of taxes that people don't understand. It is easier to tax poor people than it is to tax rich people. Because rich people are, one, the people that donate the most money to, like, PACs and super PACs. But more importantly, it is easier to take $100 from everybody, place pikes at your door, they're not getting in. Zrab, I mean, you're new here, so I'm going to tell you this right now. Please don't tempt me. Because... I have what we like to call the Houston welcome mat. I have made one before, and I'm not above making another. Just get yourself some plywood, hammer some nails into it, put it at the front. Okay, there is a doormat that I do want. It is from a flock of cows, where it says, "This is my house, and God gave me the right to make it a tomb for federal agents and thieves." And in my opinion, they're one and the same. Nor I, but I pay my taxes. Uncle Sam is worse than the mafia. I desperately want to say no. I really want to say that's not true, but I know deep in my heart that that is true. And it makes me sad. It makes me genuinely sad. And I've already been... Like, my ideas got derailed twice in 2 minutes. Oh yeah, that's right. I remember what I was going to say. It is easier to take $100 from everybody than it is to take like $1 million from the wealthy people. So they're going to take the $100 from you and me because you and I can't do shit about it. That's the sad truth of taxation. We're not even 20 minutes into this and we're already talking about taxes. we're gonna get really, really unhappy by the end of this stream. Oh man, I can't wait to go, wow, where's my Jack? I need a Jack and Coke right now, because good lord, I need to help me go to bed. And see, look, all of my taxes are low. All of my taxes are low. See that? Oh, except for these guys, that's normal. But anyway, all these taxes are nice and low. Why? Because I am a benevolent dictator. I am a benevolent dictator, except for these guys. I'm going to just kind of... we do need to kind of start pumping up some of these numbers here a little bit, because I have a war to fight in the very near future, and somebody tells me that I'm going to have to fight a very dirty war against these other Roman boys. And how are you, Zrab? How are you, Guns and Knives? And how are you, Fokker? I hope you're doing well. And I'm about to lose all of my money from trade. That's my next problem. Because if I'm not mistaken, let's see, where's my money? Yeah, trade is, wow, $53,000 a turn. Holy snaps. Okay, that is a lot of goddamn money. That is more than enough to drop me way below that marker. We call that bad. We call that negative. We call that not good. So I need to have an army that's ready to kick some teeth in immediately. Are you a capitalist dictator? You want your people to have capital to spend and invest? Hell yeah! This is one thing I'll never understand on any level whatsoever, where people say like, oh, you... Okay, what was it? There was a, not to get political, and I'm not trying to, but there was my favorite quote from any politician. My favorite quote from any politician was Bloomberg. It's Michael Bloomberg, where he sat on stage, and I have watched this debate, and I loved it because I was laughing hysterically because people applauded this man for saying this. And he goes, the poors... Okay, no, I can't say he was saying that. To paraphrase, he said, the poors are stupid because they're poor. If they weren't stupid, they'd be rich like me. Therefore, we the people in the government need to tax them harder than the rich people in order to spend their money in a way that makes sense, because they don't know what they're fucking doing. And I sat there and I howled so hard. I howled so hard that I think Geisha was wondering if I was having an aneurysm. I was laughing so hard. And there were people applauding this man, and I couldn't take it. I was dying. I was on the floor. I was turning purple. And the fact that people like were applauding this man made it 10 times better that these people just applaud anything. It's very much that old meme of like, I've seen what makes you laugh. Your boos mean nothing to me. That is what it was to me. I was dying. And that clip is still out there if you ever want to go watch it. I think it was the 2020 presidential debates or the 2016, one of the two. Either 2016 or 2020. And my God, was it glorious. And I do not understand this mentality of if you let people have money, they'll waste it. It's like, you can't really do that. I might live in your empire if you allow me to own arms. Dude, are you kidding me? It will be a requirement. If I was a dictator, it would be required for every single man and woman to own at least 2 firearms, at least 3 or 4 blades of actual assault value in their home. You would be fined every day you didn't have one. And my logic is this. I need you to be able to defend the state. I'm going to sit in my penthouse and pretend to do stuff. I'm going to do what the British royal family does. I'm going to pretend to lead when in reality I'm not going to do jack shit. I'm going to sit in my little house and I'm going to pretend to be a leader while all the rest of you, I would defend your kingship. No, we don't do kings here. This is an empire. King, see, the problem with kings is that kings, their lineage may not be that great. So every turning of the key, if you want to say it like this way, should invoke civil war. It would devolve into a constitutional republic. It's just like, everybody's like, well, I'm happy with the way things are. Myth just answers the door for federal agents with a plate carrier full of Tanneray. Look, if I'm going down, I'm taking you with me. Knock, knock. Who's there? Boom.
Can I be of service?
Pop, pop goes stainless steel. Well, guess what, sunshine? Like, what? How would you feel if you stared into a very small sun for a very short amount of time? I like this idea. Okay, I wouldn't even know what happened. You say that until you have a son, then you'll want to make him your heir. I don't know, man. I don't know. I've learned enough history to know that... Look, just like any business, if you don't raise your kids right, that entire empire comes crashing to the ground within like a generation. And God, that scares the crap out of me. I would be of the opinion that I want my progeny to have, if they're going to have an empire, to have an empire they can maintain. And so the easiest thing I could do is tell them, look, just don't get involved. Like, look, as soon as you get, if the ATF comes knocking you up, it's the dog with the Tannerite vest. No, because the thing is, don't take it back. Yeah, they just shoot the dog. That makes sense. That makes way more sense. I don't like it, but that makes more sense. See, I don't know. Like, I kind of agree with the idea of if we just keep carving up the empire, that's fine. Just okay. I've got kids. Okay, carve the empire. They get, big brother gets that one, little brother gets that one, other brother gets this one, right? That's my thought. Or your heir is like the Commodus and Gladiator, and he snuffs you out before you can tell anybody if you want your empire to be a republic. I still can't believe that video of them capping the dog that was in a crate. Look, that dog was about to charge, man. That dog was dangerous. He was about to charge. I saw it. I saw that video. Don't you dare tell me that dog was not dangerous. Well, the thing about Commodus is that Marcus Aurelius, as much as I do enjoy a lot of his writings, he is a person that I would not want to take advice from, and here's the reason why. Marcus Aurelius was a person who could not keep his own relationships in order. This is a very big red flag for anybody taking personal advice. If you're going to ask somebody financial advice from somebody who's in the gutter, maybe don't do that, right? Or maybe ask them what you did wrong. Marcus Aurelius, his life was not overall bad, but he had a lot of messed up relationships, and it's very clear to me that he did not keep his son in check. He did not bother to do half the stuff that he said. And I'm not saying that, nobody's perfect, obviously, no matter what you have. I mean, I'm sure that if my dad said things about me, he would go, oh, there's some things about him that I don't know how it got there. I don't know, there's some things that you just can't change, or you can't, smack out of some kids. However, Commodus fancied himself a gladiator and pretended to fight in the ring because he was just so obsessed with fame and glory. It is the epitome of just useless people syndrome. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. But I don't believe Marcus Aurelius would have ever turned it into a republic. I don't think that would ever be the case. I think that Marcus Aurelius was, if anything, he was unfortunately a man who... oh wow, I gotta do these individually? Okay, fine. Who really, really, really wanted to... he had some ideas. I think Stoicism is a very flawed philosophy. But I think that he wanted something that was better than what he had, and I think that the return to more traditional values that he saw as being conservative, if you want to call it that way in modern day terms, was the best option. And being realistic and pragmatic is the best option, which I agree with. I agree with all that stuff. It's just that the way he lived that out did not work out in his favor, which means that something was wrong. Like, there was something about that was wrong. What's that theory? A system that produces something negative is a system by design to produce something negative, even if it's by accident. No, the system's working as it's designed. It's just that you designed it wrong. All that in a bag of chips. Next question. All right, I've got a can of whoop ass. I don't know where to drop it, so I need to make sure my frontier areas are completely and totally fortified. Also, if the ATF comes knocking, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what that one person did in like Ohio, where I'm going to just call the police and say this man's threatened me with a gun, and just watch that man get tased. Because that's the American way. Have the local police forces come and tackle those bastards. Coming of age. But more importantly, the Greco boys. Okay, hold on. If you don't count Egypt, the Greco boys are all gone. Thank God. All that boy humping was just, it got in the way of fighting, and that's what really got it. That's what really did him in. Is all that debauchery over there. Okay, thank God that's getting built. I would send an army by ship to start invading the Middle East. My thought process is this. If I start invading the Middle East, is this 21 Jump Street? It can be. If I start taking out the Middle East, that takes out a threat that I can use against Scipii and Bruttii, and it opens up a 2-front war for me. Actually, it's a 4-front war, because then I'll have to deal with the Bruttii on this front right here in the top right. I'll have to deal with the Scipii right here, which actually is not the worst bottleneck. But then I've got to deal with all the fighting over here. So I could... So the question is this. You mentioned Graco, and I thought you meant Richard. What? Let me think about this for a second, because I thought about that. I did think about that. If I knock out the Egyptians... it increases my capacity for income. The problem is it knocks out probably my number one trade partner. That will be my number one trade partner. And thanks to the Colossus of Rhodes, I get a massive bonus to trade via sea. It's not the worst idea in the world. But every turn that I wait is another turn these things get to get bigger. But you're not wrong. It's not a bad idea. A multi-front war didn't work for the Germans in their last 2 wars. Oh no, it did. It did work. It just didn't work the way they wanted. It worked for somebody. So, the next question is, if I was to take out a city, Halicarnassus, Sardi, Pergamum, and Nicomedia, Richard Grieco's an actor who's the original 21 Jump Street. I wouldn't know that because I don't watch many movies anymore. I am a peasant child in comparison. It's pronounced Grieco. It's Grieco? No, not, it's Greco. It's Greco-Roman. It's Greco-Roman. Good lord, please don't make me do this. You're going to make me hurt myself. I don't want to do that.
General. Orders. Orders.
There we go.
Fleet ready. Fleet ready.
If I drop off this army... This is a TV show of the 80s. The actor's name is pronounced Grieco.
Fleet ready.
Well, you fucking troglodyte. No. No! I first learned of Richard Grieco from watching A Night at the Roxbury. Wait, the one about transgender people? Or is that... Right? Oh, that's Rocky Horror Picture. Never mind. Transgender... What the fuck? Sorry, Rocky Horror Picture. The same thing. You fucking retard. Look, I told you I had a stroke. It's fine. 20%. This has no effect on abilities to take fear of the factor. Alright, so I can take Halicarnassus. Okay, that's my first step. That's my first step. Halicarnassus. I don't know why I thought that. I don't know. I blame Fokker. Alright, here we go. I'm going to take... No, A Night at the Roxbury is a comedy that stars Will Ferrell. I forgot about that. I'm sorry. I was thinking of Rocky Horror Picture for some reason. I have no idea why that went into my brain.
Awaiting your command.
But that's okay. That's okay. Look, just like everyone else, sometimes Myth makes mistakes. But Myth doesn't have to actually own up to any of those mistakes. because I'm like the government. I can just make them not exist. I can just pretend that they're not real. And I can gaslight you all and pretend like, no, that's exactly what I meant to do. That's Tim Curry. Look, Tim Curry is a national treasure, man. Tim Curry's hilarious. Let's see, let's drop off that. Lugdunum, can we build anything for you? Yes, more trade, more money. We need more money. We need more stuff, more money, more everything. You know what's even funnier? Is at the end of the Roman Empire, at the very tail end of the Roman Empire, one of my favorite little fun facts is the fact that they were debasing the denarii so fast that they really couldn't keep up. They're like using copper. But more importantly, you could find pure gold and like denarii in China. I love Tim Curry. I'm up a treasure hunt. Let's go find the treasure. Satan is hating his bonkers for you. You tore a page from the Bible. You tore a page from the Holy Scriptures to give a pirate's death sentence. Oh, what a great movie. What a fantastic movie. I can't blame you. It's a good movie.
Set sail.
Yes! See, I'm a cultured man. I'm a very cultured man. Full of able to do many cultured things. This poor man, Terra, who has this nose that looks like a freaking fish hook. This poor man, I have exiled him to the island of Ireland. Good God, could you imagine this poor man going, I am a fucking Roman royalty, and I'm stuck in this godforsaken place where everybody has red hair. God, I hope you have a fetish. You could sail to heaven and back. You could sail to heaven and back with these men. Well, you'll sail somewhere with them. Big fat ugly bug faced baby eating O'Brien? Aye. Everybody's like, what the hell? Okay. That's fine. Those rebel boys can do whatever they want to. Okay, let's look at our first invasion of the Egyptus peoples, the Gyptus men.
Ready to sail. Set sail.
And can we make any more yeah, we're gonna make some more archers. My fear is that when I go to war, my towns will not be ready for it. But yes, what a fantastic movie. I'm glad you reminded me of it. I need to make sure I get a copy of that. Then again, I also need to make sure I need to get copies of like the Batman animated series, the Batman Beyond animated series, and then look at this man, betrothed to Lucia. I bet she's like 13. I don't know how old she is, but you're marrying that fat guy.
Sir.
Sinope.
Sir. Honor.
Oh, let's see. Also, Teen Titans, like the original animated TV show. I gotta get a whole bunch of stuff now that I think about it. But
Fleet ready.
what's this? Temple of Artemis. Ew, disgusting.
Disembark. Orders.
So that's got one dude in there.
Orders. Aye, Captain.
We're going to let one turn pass on Blu-ray if that's available. It is. All those are available on Blu-ray. They're on my Amazon wishlist. I am waiting for them to go on sale so that I may take advantage of the lovely sales that they have. Okay, so get some walls up in here.
Sir.
You're aged 50 and you already look like this? Good lord. But yeah, I've heard Roman coins were found in China. Yeah, a lot of them. Because there was... And so now that opens up a very interesting conversation, right? Because before, the idea that people had been circumnavigating the globe up until that point is unheard of. So the fact is that if you have lots of Roman... It would make sense if like maybe a couple of them made it. But the only way that a bunch of them make it is if you have open trade with the Orient. And so the idea that you didn't have... There was no way to get people there or to get stuff around the world is impossible. It doesn't make sense. This is one of the things I always find so frustrating about history is that you'll have people that say, no, we didn't, people who weren't like, trading and doing stuff with each other for like hundreds of years. Like they didn't even know they existed. And I was like, dude, Rome knew China existed. Like, not only did they know, they were trading with them. Like, don't just ignore your lying eye, or yeah, don't listen to your lying eyes. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. And people in Egypt were carving giant monolithic stones out of the ground with like little rock tools. Yes, the stuff that doesn't do anything. They had the Silk Road in Roman times, didn't they, or did it come later? Much later, if I'm not mistaken. Because the Silk Road kind of idea was a Chinese thing, wasn't it? Popularity gained in the Senate. What did I do? The people love me. I don't know why they like me, but whatever. I mean, you could call it the Silk Road, but like Rome was the center of all trade. So, aside from like, was it Corinth? You've got Corinth, Thessalonica. You've got Rome itself. You've got what was the capital of Egypt? Good lord. I forget the capital of Egypt. Like, you had a bunch of big trading hubs, but like Rome was the center of it all. Like Rome, every you know, that's why the whole thing, all roads lead to Rome, right? That's where everything goes. Everything goes to Rome. Oh my. The people are unhappy. Why are they so unhappy? Apparently they need some more oppression. I've been told that oppression is good for people in small doses.
Orders.
Alright, we're gonna send these three up here.
Leaving the army. Forward.
I'm gonna send these three over here.
Forward.
I don't know how many people are over there, but hopefully 3 isn't. You know what? Let's give him one more. That's more than enough. And let's give you control of them. Give you control of them. And hope to God that wherever Alexandria was the Egyptian capital. I don't know actually. I don't remember. Maybe? I don't remember. I thought it was a city somewhere over here, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't remember. I want to say yes to that, but I can't remember. At this time, maybe. It's very well possible. But I'm trying to remember, like, because Egypt has had its capital, I think, changed a couple times. Just like Rome did. Just like every other nation, the capital changes a little bit here and there. They're still building that. I hate to say that I don't remember, but I generally don't remember.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Aha! I think Guns and Knives is correct. I think what we should do is invade Egypt. I'll use these as a bulwark. Myth is kind of the guy who would let Constantinople burn. I will take the what is it? What was the guy's name who burned Constantinople? And no. So who's the gentleman who burned the Library of Alexandria? There was a Arabic general who wrote to the, what was it, the warlord of whatever empire, I forget what it was, and his response when he said, hey, look, there's all these like works of art that have been here for thousands of years, these many priceless works, and the response was, well, if the stuff in there opposes the Quran, it is not wanted. And if it supports it, it is not needed. Burn it. I'll take that response. I mean, Julius burned part of it. The Library of Alexandria? I'm not aware. Julius Caesar? Burned part of the Library of Alexandria? Hold on, I don't remember this part. Don't get me wrong, I'm not like, I don't know Julius Caesar, like... He actually said... Okay, accidentally set some of it on fire and intentionally burned it all are very different things. It wasn't a complete destruction. Yeah, okay, I know the Library of Alexandria had been burned multiple times. But like, the last straw, the one that actually did it in was the one where they said, no, we're trying to destroy everything here and there'll be nothing left when we're done.
Move out. Sir.
Alright, so at this rate, I might as well just split my army up even more.
General. Imperator.
Make Angry Man go away over here. Alright.
Attack.
I'm going to attack a neutral faction. Maintain the siege. Maintain the siege.
Begin the siege. Engage the enemy. Sir.
There we go.
Besieging settlement, sir.
I think Caesar had ordered that his ships be burned. The fire got out of control and spread to the library. Well, historically, Muslims are kind of the biggest shits in existence. Look, I'm just saying that they burned a lot of stuff. They destroyed a lot of stuff. I think one of my biggest frustrations that when I hear about, like, I don't like Egypt. I don't like Egyptian history. I don't like. I find Egypt as one of those civilizations that was burned and destroyed for a good reason. And that good reason was that they couldn't keep themselves above water. Sorry, that was mean. But let's get these 3 or 4 guys over here. The part I love most is the Muslims destroyed so much of antiquity, and most of them still live in mud huts with next to no technology other than TVs and cell phones. You're not wrong. You're not wrong about that, which is kind of frustrating.
General orders.
The Mongols got them back when they sacked Baghdad. Well, like, it's like whenever I see works of art that are, like, thousands of years old, even, like, old statues, right? I understand that, like, hey, this isn't part of our faith or our religion. No, I get that. But, like, these are works of art that are part of that culture. Inherently, they are not corrupting. They're not damaging. It's like, no, this is where, like, this group, this people comes from. The First Crusade really got them back. I just wish they had cleaned up the house up to the Gobi. Do you realize how hard it is to fight in the desert? Like, I mean, everybody likes to think that the Crusades are this really highly organized event, and it wasn't. It was more like a bunch of war bands that got along barely. Like, you know, again, these are enemies that have been around each other for years. Push them back to the desert, not into it. I mean, you need water. Yeah, an army runs on water, and an army runs on its stomach. Just cleanse that side of the desert. Good luck cleansing the desert. I mean that. Good luck cleansing the desert. I mean, you're gonna need it.
Sir, Imperator. Forward.
Let's see if I can get that guy over there. Kitty. Jesus, don't enter the desert. It's just a giant litter box. Like, it's all desert. Do I need to draw you out? No, I'll show you the map. This is a kitty box. All of this is a kitty box. With the exception of this piss stain right here. Now that's Arizona. Oof. Now, what's interesting, and I do find this rather fascinating, is that they actually don't show, see, Africa is right here. They don't show this part of Africa, because for the longest time, this is the breadbasket of Europe right here. For the longest time, this is the breadbasket of the entire, like, of all of Rome, is right here and right here, which is incredible to me. It's absolutely incredible to me. But more importantly, I don't believe this is green, and I don't think it has been for thousands of years. But maybe I'm misremembering some of my topography. That's what I'm saying. You find Muslims in the green makes them unseen. Oh my god! But there's entire swaths of this continent that are just ripped barren. And I really enjoyed listening to, and I forget his name, but he was just basically going over different theories, where when you look at the deserts from like a satellite view, what you see is what looks to be at the bottom of the ocean, right? Because, I mean, if you've been in, like, the ocean, you see, like, these very smooth sand dunes that kind of roll. France seems like a better land for farming. It is, except for all the forest. And the next problem is, even though Rome technically pacified all this with the Goths and the Gauls and everything, I mean, they still kind of never really... they never really pacified it 100%, which is why you have a bunch of uprisings that happened during the late Roman Empire. Like, Italy itself, like, the actual Roman, like, nation, there weren't that many uprisings. It's all the people they conquered near the end of the empire. They had thousands of years to do it, but they never bothered to, like, actually Romanize many of them. So, like, you really don't see them holding on to Rome the way that these people down here did. It's kind of weird. Even though these people, like, all the way up to, like, northern France had been under Roman rule, they never bothered to make them, like, citizens, which I get, right? I mean, the people up here are not Romans. The people down here are Romans. But anyway, back to what I was going to say. This is always fascinating to me, is you have a couple different theories, and if you not mix them together, but like you've got like the Young Dryas theory, right? The Young Dryas theory is the idea that you've got multiple comet impacts that basically greatly reshaped the world as we know it. One of them being like these little juts of land right here that didn't exist before. Like there used to be land that would go all the way over here. And there's stuff that's just buried underwater over here. There are cities outside of Alexandria all the way up here that actually still exist and are just literally buried underwater. And the only reason that happened was because whenever those comets hit, it destroyed kind of the axis of the planet, or at least destroyed enough of the landmass, where it actually sunk parts of the Earth and it's just under there. So you've got excavation heaven down here right now. And I forget if they're still working on it. I know Egypt is very, very careful about what they're excavating, what they're not excavating. As a matter of fact, they refuse to let people excavate or do any kind of like research into certain monuments. Even though up until like the early 2010s, they would let people do it. But now they're like, nope, you can't go in there anymore. You can't learn about it. You can't talk about it. You can't do anything, which is really, really weird. But I want to say in like 2016, there's an entire city out here that's just underwater. It's just underwater. You've got, you know, houses. You've got government buildings. You've got a whole bunch of stuff that's just underwater. And there's roads. Everything's paved. And the only reason that it would be underwater is it was just immediately, just massively submerged. And that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense based on what we know today as to what happened to this region of the world. But anyway, back to what I was saying. That event that would have sunk the cities way over here also affected the land over here into what looks like a giant tidal wave that essentially just engulfs all of Africa. And you see it go about halfway down and then goes out to the Atlantic. And if you pull up Google Maps, just pull up Google Maps and just look at it, and it looks like you've got massive salt deposits all along the ground. Even from the sky. And what it looks like is that place is underwater for quite a bit. Because you've got even Roman maps that were, during Roman times, that were considered to be ancient as hell. And they said that there was a time when Africa was nothing but lush farmland and jungle. Like, there was nothing here except the most beautiful, vibrant, like, cities and empires they could find. And this was old by Roman times. So when the Romans got it, this was a myth. Like, that's the stuff that's interesting to me. So if there's cities that are buried underwater out here, what the fuck is buried out here? Which, by the way, we have LiDAR now. LiDAR can show us what's under there. And I want to say I was reading a report either from like it's either a CNN or something, where they talk about how the U.S. government does have LiDAR scans of this region. We have confirmed there are entire kingdoms that are buried under sand out here. But they won't release that information. They won't release what those are. Which I find fascinating. Like, what's buried out here in the Sahara Desert kind of stuff? That's cool to me. There's an entire civilization buried under sand in Africa where there actually was a legitimate empire, and it's all under sand. Now, of course, I don't know how true any of it is, because nobody's allowed to go out there. And even if you could, to dig in the sand in the Sahara, you might as well try to dig through quicksand. You might as well. It's not going to work out too well. Hello, what's this? Oh, filthy degenerates.
Prepare to engage. Victory!
Get away from my port. The islands across the Mediterranean look like the tops of underwater mountain ranges to me. Well, that's funny you say that, right? Because it's exactly what they are. I mean, I wouldn't trust this map per se, but like a lot of the region that's above water here is mountains. They are mountains. There's a lot of mountain ranges out here, so yeah, it would make sense that all the water would just keep running down. But it would make a lot more sense if you had mountain ranges that were up here, and then there was more land way out here. However, if you've got a deep basin, like let's say a good farmland down here, it'd be the first thing that gets knocked out.
Imperator.
Just saying.
Attack!
Myth is chasing waterfalls. I would never chase waterfalls. That implies that I would have to dive off the edge. Okay, so let's see. They've got a single set of archers out there. Let's go murder some archers. Myth, go swim in the deep water. No, I refuse. Look, if you'll be fine. No, I won't. No, I won't. Okay, here's the thing. I'm sure that if I got into the water at like the edge of like the ground and just kept going, I'd be fine. That's not my problem.
The army of the Egyptian pharaoh, worthy foes to a man.
Look at all these filthy, stinking Egyptian buildings.
And before we start, just remember, they are more scared of us, true Romans to a man, than we are of them.
Yeah. Doggerland is a thing a long time ago. They found ruins or artifacts at the bottom of the North Sea. Doggerland. Well, it's almost like, what is it? Like the, oh, what is it called? What are they called? Good lord. What's their names? Minoans. The Minoans. I want to put myth in the water above the underwater water. The what? The underwater, what? The underwater water, what is that?
Move to the walls! Move to the walls!
I'm trying to speed that up a little bit.
Cohort, winning cohort. Form testudo.
The Minoans. Like, the Minoans, the only reason that we know the Minoans even existed is because of, like, a record in Greek history, and that's it. That is literally it. We don't know what they were. We don't know anything about them. I think we have some, like, minor artifacts. And I say minor, I mean, like, we think they're Minoan, and that's about it.
Praise the gods! The siege towers are at the walls! Now the real fight begins!
Kind of.
Under attack! Move, move! Forward!
Check that myth. Big thing. Starts with a bang. Underwater waterfall. Mauritius.
Legionary cohort.
Great gods! Our soldiers have done well this day. The walls are taken.
Look at all these disgusting, filthy Egyptian buildings. They all gotta go. I can't justify this. I can't allow it. I can't justify it. It's gotta go. Like, the Romans did do one thing very wrong. They didn't destroy all this crap when they had the chance. Myth, that picture is amazing. I believe it. It sounds pretty cool. An underwater waterfall. It's like whenever you have, like, heavy water that is being shoved, or not shoved. It's like a separation of water under the ocean. Like, that's pretty cool, man. Like, I don't know how that works. I want you dreaming about it tonight. No. No. But there's a place in, like, the in the ocean where you have one set of water being separated from another set of water in the water. It's pretty cool. I've seen satellite photos of the Eye of Africa, and the land doesn't look like it's flooded and washed away. See, this is where I think that, like, this is one of the reasons why I really enjoy my name. I like mythology. I think that there's a lot of truth in mythology. It's just that we don't know what that truth was, right? So, there are arguments that the city of Atlantis is real or not real. I think it was. I don't think that a legend like that lives for so long without it being real. And I don't think it would... I don't think that it would be too hard to believe that there was an empire, a seafaring empire, that early on in human history. Because, you know, again, if you just give people enough time and energy, or enough time, they will do stupid crap like that. They will do stupid things like, I'm going to basically circumnavigate the world. The only really weird part about it is that if Atlantis is true, it does make things... It sets the world history in a bit of a different light. But even the Egyptians, like ancient Egyptians, they believed that Atlantis was real. And they believed it was real because they said that even themselves, they have, I wouldn't say records, because it's not the right word. Their original, I guess, founders were from Atlantis. They were refugees from Atlantis. And Atlantis has 2 to 3 locations they could be coming from, and one of them is the Eye of Africa. And if you listen to the way Plato describes, I think it's Plato, describes the actual formation of Atlantis, it matches that eye almost to a T. It is perfect for it. You have 3 circles, each with a different role and a different form inside the actual structure of the city. And so the Eye of Africa would actually meet the city of Atlantis' description very, very well. I forget all the different descriptors of it, but whenever I did read it whenever I saw that, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. This looks like it's it. The only problem is, of course, that everybody thinks that the Atlantis is a myth. It's not real. I personally think it was real. I just don't know. We just don't know anything about it.
General.
Call me crazy. That's fine. It's not the first time. Probably won't be the last time. The myth had to come from somewhere. It did. It did, right? So, and that's kind of the other fun part, right? So that's why I think every myth has a little bit of truth to it. There's no way that every myth is a lie. You know, much in the same vein that you have like the Minotaur, right? The Minotaur, is it real or is it not real? Well, let's go a step further. Let's talk about stuff that's just absolutely out of your mind insane. The Indians. So, and I don't mean the Indians as like Native Americans. I mean Indian tribes. There are temples that don't match other temples in India. They are kind of built in somewhat similar. Oof, I'm gonna enslave that population. They are similar, but they're not the same. One of the biggest that I can think of is there is a temple that is actually not really considered to be that important in Indian history. There were probably some embellishments, but there's a core of truth in the center, and that's the fun part, right? There is a temple in India, and I forget the way that I forget what the name of it is, but it's laid out very interestingly because it's separate from all the other temples. You've got a few of them like that. You've got one temple that's carved from a single mountain. It is a mountain that has been carved in the negative. And it's one of those world wonders that you're just like, what the f did they do? And it's one of those things where it's sitting what looks like on a plateau. How does that work? How do you do that? Minas Tirith? I mean, basically, yeah. No, jeez. It is a temple that is massive. It looks like a city, but it's a temple that is built in negative. So they carved it out of the rock directly. They didn't bring rocks to it. They just carved the mountain down into the city. It's a very interesting city. Oh, I have the one? Okay.
Move! Move to the wall! Unit!
But anyway, the one that I'm thinking of had some very interesting things in it, where you have a few different things going on in the actual temple. One of the first things that I thought was very interesting is that you have the columns have a circle on the outside, and that circle is hollow, except for a core, which is solid. Now, you can say that's a design, but it is a design insofar as if you're just looking at it by itself, that's all it is. It's just a simple design. It's just an aesthetic feature. But these are religious temples. You don't just choose aesthetic features for a religious temple. You would use something that would be by function. It may be aesthetic, but also functional, much in the same way that stained glass windows in churches, or you may use crosses as windows. Like, you'll use it to make the thing more beautiful and still represent the thing that you're trying to represent. That's kind of what you would do. It's what anybody would do if they're trying to make something that they respect and honor and cherish. On the same token, on that same pillar, what you have is you've got fish, and you've got you've got baby elephants. You've got a bunch of fertility-esque things on that pillar. And I was listening to somebody talk about that, and myth would burn the tree. I would never burn a tree because that tree was already dead. Why would I just bring insult to injury? Are we not going in? Can we go in? There we go. It was denuded. Denuded. I don't know what denuded means, but that's what it was. You gonna come in here? Make bear. God, why are y'all using all these fancy words on me? It means it has no leaves. Then just say it has no leaves. Say de-leafed. Ooh, they've got pikemen. I said it in one word. No, you said it in like 12 words because then you had to explain it. Look at all these fake gods. Look at that. You got, was it Osiris? I don't know what that is. This guy who's doing Black Power. I'm sorry, you don't read anything other than the Sunday comics. Yeah, no, I just read lots of other stuff like history. I think humans and dinosaurs might have coexisted, but every ancient society has stories about dragons. The word dragon used to mean just big lizard, or maybe a remnant of the dinosaurs survived. Humans probably killed them all off and ate them, hence their extinction. See, I don't think that dinosaurs existed the way that we think they existed. I'm at least not in the way that we think, right? It would be weird if they did. I don't ever believe there was a time whenever giant lizards roamed the earth. And that's not me trying to be conspiratorial. It's just that, you know, dinosaurs themselves are known to be, not constructs, but they are... The things that you see in the museums are not actually things they found in nature. They made them. So you'll definitely see what they would consider to be... not recreations. Are y'all gonna throw the stuff at people? Alright, time out. Why are you not... I'll try to use my Gen Z language for you. Shut up.
Legionary cohort.
Dude, come on guys, get in formation.
Legionary. Attack. Cohort. Attack. Legionary cohort. Legionary cohort. Attack. General. Attack.
There we go.
Legionary cohort.
Now charge!
Legionary, great gods,
There we go.
praised. The enemy general is killed. Fear makes a home in our enemy's hearts.
There we go. So a lot of those giant dinosaur bones that you see, those are all fabrications. Myths show you the pains you'll suffer when you grow up with the internet. I was 12 when the internet finally became commercial. But how did the ancient people across the world tell stories of dragons? Oh, no. So there are... Think of it this way, is that it's not, I'm not saying that dinosaurs don't exist at all. I'm saying that dinosaurs as we understand them aren't real. So like, the idea of the giant T-Rex, right? An animal that was a giant lizard, had itty-bitty arms, big ol' honker legs, so they just skipped arm day, right? I think a lot of these animals are things that exist today, but never got as big as they used to. And a lot of places, yes, they do have Capture the Temple of Artemis, yay! Temple reduces the cost of new religious buildings by 30% in all settlements, yay! There we go. Let's repair all that stuff. Oops, what am I doing? How do I do all that? There we go, let's repair that. Let's retrain those guys. The T-Rex did skip arms. She was the opposite of your typical gym bro. I'm not saying that there's no evidence for them, but the ones that we consider to be dinosaurs, I don't think they existed because a lot of those bones they found are bones that if you actually read into where they found them, they would find a single bone and that's it. And then they would just kind of extrapolate everything from there. So for instance, as a matter of fact, whenever I did my Gothic War series, there was a whale called Porphyrion that would actually terrorize the Black Sea, come out through this little this little isthmus thingy right here, and then go all the way down across here, all the way over here, and then go right back up and do it again. And he would do this in like spurts of 50 years. So he would just disappear for entire lifetimes, then come right back. The actual dinosaurs looked like looked like a monstrosity designed by a 4-year-old, 5 arms and 3 legs. But they would extrapolate entire designs out of stuff that they've never actually found. They would make casts and they would do all these. They would try to not say make this stuff up. It's not really true. They would take a lot of liberty with what they actually found. So I'm not saying that they're actually incorrect in the fact that those lizards existed, but it would be weird if they did, because we have no other animal that is like it. So if you so this is another thing, another theory that I actually very much ascribe to, which is the fact that most animal species that we have today, we have back then. It's just that they've gotten bigger or smaller since then. So for instance, a good example of this is like whenever you have a spider clutch, like a spider egg, one spider egg has like 1,000 spiders. They're teeny, 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 tiny. The same thing is kind of true for lizards in many cases. Those lizards, they're very, very small when they're born, and they get really big in comparison. Well, if you have and this is also something that's backed up by, I know other scientists, but I couldn't tell you their reports. You have a time in human history where the planet had a much denser cloud cover and was much more, I guess you could say, hospitable to all animals. It has since changed. Ironically, at a time whenever there was a great, massive fucking flood. And so after that, you start to see a decrease over time in the number of these large, big animals. At least that's the going theory. Like the giant anacondas that we see in the movies, those existed, and they've got actual proof of those. There's actually a doctor of paleontology and something else that was actually like exploring something, I forget what, in South America, and they found like an actual like anaconda head or something like that, and it was massive. In the Bible, it does say the world changed after the global flood. I'll try to use sources that aren't biblical. Because I'm relatively familiar with that too, but I try to use sources outside of it because people tend to get up in arms and they're like, "Oh my God, it's the Bible." I was like, "Whatever, fine, screw it." But there are other scientific facts that support that. So now you could say, "Well, it didn't cover everything. There was that big mountain that they found." Okay, fine, whatever. Who cares? But the point is that you've got 99% of the world essentially that was flooded or destroyed, right, by a flood. Now you could say, "Oh, it rained," but if you look at the actual, so let's just look at the biblical version of that. People think of the biblical version as heavy rains. I like the Bible. I'll get up in arms if you use it. Some people might. So let's just use the biblical version of the flood, right? So the biblical version of the flood, along with the Judaic version of the flood, is not rain. It is not rain. It is the traditional way we view it, but it is not rain. The literal words that are used in the literal translation is the heavens opened and the waters fell. The waters above the earth fell. And then we go, oh, well, that's what rain is. It's water falling from the sky. No, it's not. It is not. You want to know why I know this? Because there are literally parts of the Bible that say rain. If the Bible, or if the whether you believe it's inspired or not, if you believe that's what it is, there's a difference between the heavens opened and the waters fell versus it rained. Oh, but it's just more flowery language. It's like, really? Because they flower that language up too. So what's the difference? And the difference is that I think that you're looking at very different things. And even then, on top of that, you have a two-front system that happens here. It's not just that water falls from the sky. You have water pushes from the ground. So it's not just that water fell from the sky, it was water came from the ground itself. So it literally was no, there is no escape for you. You can't just leave as the water rises because the rain is falling. No, you will be completely consumed by it. Did you see the recently discovered a huge ocean under the crust of the earth? I did not see that. Please send me a link to that in Discord. I would love to read about it. That sounds fascinating. But anyway, my point is, you have historical evidence that actually supports at least some of that. Of course, you can't prove that water came from under the earth, but you do have lots of evidence for a massive flood that changed the way the world looks and the way the world is. Roughly speaking, the way that, again, some story, this is where I kind of get fuzzy on the details, is how long ago. Some people say 13,000 years ago, which is kind of where the young Dryas theory comes in. The young Dryas theory being the fact that giant meteors hit the Earth, which completely changed the Earth. That caused multiple global floods, completely annihilated certain sections of the planet. and it completely remapped all of Europe all the way to Russia. And so far, and in so doing, actually tilted the Earth's axis, potentially. Something that would change the way the oceans work. So there's lots of different ideas that go around there for that. Now, some people say, "Oh, this is just, it's all, oh gosh, this is just nonsense." Like, well, maybe. It's very possible it is. Who knows? I'm not a historian on that level. I like history. I read about it, and I look at things that are, and I start saying, well, how does this work? And so far, historians can't really think of anything that's good. They can't figure it out without relying on MacGuffins. Well, this has an explanation, and the explanation is quite reasonable. Hey, something caused a giant flood. Well, what would cause rain to just pour from the sky for days on end? I don't know. A massive superheating event that vaporizes entire sections of the northern hemisphere? You know, just completely and utterly annihilates entire oceans? And that might do it. Oh, what would cause water to just completely pour from the ground? I don't know. You smack something hard enough in the ground and it's just going to shove everything down. What does it do? It's got nowhere to go. Where's the nearest pressure release? Everywhere above it. You know, like, that makes sense. Like, if you hit something hard enough in the ground, or if you, let's say this. Speaking of tannerite, if you blow up a well, what happens to the well? Does it just simply stop working? No, it tries to find its path of least resistance. If it's not that deep, it goes up. It just starts flooding the area. Easy peasy. Now what happens if you slam a giant rock into it? You probably will get similar results, except much bigger. And Fokker is screaming. I can hear Fokker screaming at me right now. I can hear it. But no, I would love to actually read about that. So please, if you do have it, send it to me through Discord if you can. You know, I've completely forgotten how we get on this topic, but yeah, I think that you know, I was going to talk about Switzerland today. I wanted to talk about Switzerland. I wanted to talk about the ridiculousness of Switzerland.
Do not fear them.
I don't fear servants.
Await my orders.
Forward! Siege tower!
But yeah, there's lots of little weird phenomenon in the world that doesn't really have much of a doesn't have much of an explanation. And I would love to actually hear people's thoughts and opinions on it, because I know some people say, "Oh, this is ridiculous. This is all myth." And I was like, "Well, yeah, but like the majority of the world is built on myth." Like, I don't think people understand the power and the realization that most of the life that you live is built on myth.
Forward. By your left.
And I thought I was being clever by making my name. Too bad it's old as dirt for me, and I just decided to keep it.
Praise the gods! The siege towers are at the walls!
But
Now
every
the real
culture,
fight
every
begins.
society, every nation, everything has a myth. Everything has a founding myth. Everything has a founding story. I mean, but let's look at some weird things in history, right? You go back far enough in history, and you start to see some really weird patterns for like ancient history. So one of them being the fact that, did you know that at some point in time in the very, very early days of Japan,
Our soldiers have done well this day.
you
The
have
walls
blonde-haired,
are taken.
blue-eyed people that are considered to be the ruling class of Japan? Like, and that's not propaganda from any weird. No. That is documented. It's just so old. It's not really considered to be any even feudal Japan and later. It's not part of that history. It's earlier than that. You have sarcophagi, much so found in Egypt, in Japan. You have pyramids, very old pyramids. There are not that many of them, but there are pyramids similar to the ones in Egypt, in Japan. So how do you get those there, unless there's some kind of unifying empire for it? It's a very weird thing, and I wish I could remember the names of them. I wasn't really ready to talk about that tonight, because I don't know, I try to keep it kind of light, and then, like, that kind of stuff kind of makes me feel like, wow, that's pretty heavy. I was like, that's a hard thing. That's a really hard thing to realize. It's a hard thing to kind of think about. Like, imagine if like what you think you know about history is
Units, hurry.
at worst incorrect, at best covered up. because and don't get me wrong, like a lot of the history books on Egypt are stuff that if like even modern historians would say it's outdated if you're being nice.
General Auxilia! Quickly! Cohort! Legionary cohort! Cohort! March! General!
And a lot of these professors of what if the Swiss are actually the last of the Atlanteans. See, I was going to talk about how like the Swiss are a very interesting group of people in history because they are one of the only people that are really, really good at war. So good that they actually scare people. There we go. Get him, get him, get him, get him, get him. Countercharge! Countercharge! Oh, get him! Keep hitting him. There you go. There you go. There you go. So this, I was going to talk about the Swiss Guard and kind of some of the weird, crazy stuff that happened, like from the Swiss Guard. So if you don't know, the Swiss Guard are the guys that currently defend the Pope, right? And the reason they defend the Pope is because of their they never go to war because they don't want to risk extinction of the Atlantean race. No, they don't go to war because everyone's scared of them. The last time the Swiss went to war, because again, it's a landlocked nation around a bunch of superpowers. So why is it that they have managed to survive among two of the world's biggest and most violent superpowers in the world up until the modern day? And, you know, the French didn't want to mess with them, and the Germans in the Holy Roman Empire didn't want to mess with them. So what made them so dangerous? I'm sorry, not the Holy Roman, the German Empire, I apologize.
This is no way for a leader to behave, but in battle, it's beyond belief.
Might as well, let's do it. Everybody go in. There we go.
Rome demands victory from her generals.
That's right.
And this day is clearly our victory.
There we go. And so one of the things they did is they actually had these really good shock infantry. And what they would do is they would take very lightly armored soldiers, hand them a pike, and they would say charge, right? And what these people would do is they would charge gun lines with freaking halberds and run as fast as they can across the field like goddamn Kenyans. And they would massacre enemy armies because they were so fast and so lightly armored, they could just completely overwhelm an enemy. Well, Austrian Painterman couldn't justify invading them because they were already an Aryan society. Well, that and the fact that I think that there's still that mentality of like, yeah, no, we don't have to be big to kick you in your teeth. And I think that scared the crap out of Hitler for a little bit. Plus, I don't think he considered them to be a valid target. It was on the list of places to conquer, to unite all the Aryan peoples, but he never got that far. And it was a low priority. They were never a threat, right?
Fleet ready.
But no, I always found I always find history to be fascinating. But the Swiss are one of those people that I'm like, how is it that you managed? Is this bonus population to also? Wow. Jeez. Okay, I need to get all. The Greeks have all the good stuff, man. The Gauls have nothing. There's nothing fancy out here.
Imperator.
Oh, you know what I didn't notice? I did that battle at night, and I go back to the map, and it's night. I never noticed that until just now. Good lord. Let's do that. Oh, more stuff. Yes, very good. I probably scared everybody else away. All my talk of the flood and everything. I scared them all away. It's okay. I understand. Truth hurts. Truth is hard to come by sometimes. But I've never known a single person who heard the truth that goes back to believing a lie. But anyway, so I was thinking about just kind of the times that it's an interesting thing to think about where there's a spy, that's what I want, where you have Switzerland who has managed to stay away from war for so long, while all of its neighbors are constantly embroiled in war, and even in the modern day, they haven't really been involved in any kind of war. Nobody's really attacked them. Nobody's really messed with them. And I was kind of thinking about that today. Was like, what is it about the Swiss in general that at most they really don't seem to be on the forefront of anybody's mind for invasion or conquest or anything like that. I'm wondering what it is that keeps them that way. Now, granted, the Swiss also have like a very active, I could say, what's the word? Maybe not active is not the right word. They have a pretty robust military system. It's just, it's interesting to me that they oh, 1 second. Early legionary cohorts. There we go.
Fleet ready.
It is always fascinating to me that they've managed to stay out of war for so long in their history. They've had as far as I know, they've had a relatively, they don't have a colonial period. They just sit to themselves. They stick to themselves. That's it. It's all they do. Their goal is to just be by themselves, and I'm like, that's a very interesting philosophy. I wonder how well it works, because most of the time you have this panic and fear among nations, or this kind of like rabble rousing among nations that say, no, we need to go conquer, we need to go expand our borders. And I don't think the Swiss, as far as I know, the Swiss don't really have that. And so I thought that was very interesting that the Swiss managed to keep to themselves, and they have a very wealthy little empire. I've read they've built pillboxes in their mountains for in case of invasions. Their whole population is military trained. For invaders, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. See, there is the deterrent, right? Because you're right, the people there are actually trained for military actions, and I think that's a really good idea. I don't like a lot of their structures, but they're not wrong. Like, yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, that whenever they're done with their military training, I think they spend 2 years in military training. They, and I would say pillboxes are useless in the modern day. You need a defense in depth strategy, not a static defense. Static defenses are the graveyard of empires, but oh god, there's an earthquake that happened over there. The static defenses are the graveyards of empires, but that saying is still true. But now the result is in reverse in the modern day. If you've got a static defense in the modern day, you're going to get killed. Modern day weaponry would destroy static defenses.
Our fleet is under attack.
Oh, okay. Oh no. But yeah, no. As a matter of fact, they Swiss militia actually what is it? They get to keep their weapons of war. They get to keep their M4s and stuff. Which I go, lucky ducks. Why don't I get to have a free M4 paid for by the government? Where's my government-issued M4? Let's see here. Whatever a nation would gain by conquering Switzerland isn't worth the cost of taking. Are you kidding me? Their banking system alone? Like, there's a lot of stuff you can gain from it, and a lot of it involves lots and lots of money. I would say that Switzerland is worth it just because of the actual, the banking system. If you can manage to take that, I would say that alone is worth it. It's a good little jewel to have in your belt, or your hat, or whatever. Now, granted, for raw resources, I don't know what they have. I genuinely don't know what they have. They could have something really great. They could not. I don't know. I'll have to defer to somebody else who knows more about that than I do. Let's see. Can we build anything else here? Okay, just build it under those. Let's make sure everybody's nice and happy. Whatever. Let's see here. Yeah, I think that there's a lot more to gain from Switzerland than people think. Switzerland could go scorched earth. If we can't have it, no one will kind of mentality. See, I enjoy that mentality as well, but I think that you'd have to accept the fact that you won't have a nation when you're done, right? The Soviets did that in World War II, and most of those places never recovered. It was effective. It was a very effective strategy. It's just that most of the places most of the places where they did that, boy, did that hurt. It hurt bad. Like whenever the German army advanced and they just scorched entire towns and cities, mostly towns. Those towns don't exist. You hurt me. Why am I hurting you?
But his vision is clouded. Yes! Await my order.
How am I hurting you? What have I done?
Cohort. Forward. Cohort. Forward. Move out.
Because you've discontinued your history streams. It's not my fault. It is my fault. I'm sorry. Never mind. I wish I could spend more time doing history stuff, and I wish I could spend more time like actually doing research, but I just can't. I would love to go back to doing it, and I've wanted to, I really do, and part of me wants to kind of get back into it. Say part of me, that part of me really wants to get back into it. I just don't know when I'm going to have the time to do any kind of like actual factual. Admit, I wish I had more time. No, you're not wrong. Burn it down. Come on. Burn it down. Burn it down. Damn it. Didn't even hurt it a little bit. Alright, fine.
The enemy had formidable siege towers at the walls. Prepare for some hard fighting.
Forward! Hurry! General! Hurry! Forward! Legion cohort!
Run! 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 There you go. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Nile Spearmen.
Legionaries. Legionary cohort.
Alright, now we're gonna just set these up. What are you doing? There you go. There you go. Get them. Get them, boys. Oh, by the way, these are not, like, to scale walls by any stretch of the imagination. Oh, they got burst fire in there. Also, can someone explain to me why the FAMAS has a 3-round burst and a magazine by default that's not divisible by 3? Can someone explain that to me? I would really appreciate it. Thank you. Why are y'all all the way over there? UMP-45. No, the UMP-45 is a legitimate weapon. Don't make fun of it.
Legionary cohort.
2-round burst and a magazine not divisible by 2. Well, obviously, yeah. Hitler ordered a scorched earth policy, but Albert Speer refused to carry out the order. He knew the Germans who survived the war would need the infrastructure to rebuild. See, that's the thing. It's smart to do that, because you're thinking about the future. What are you doing? What is Fred doing? Fred, what are you doing? Apparently they're gonna feed me people for 1 unit at a time as I butcher them. Dude, this cohort better get tons of experience when it's done. Holy crap. Now, another fun fact is that Germans in World War II really, really liked the occult. They loved the occult. Well, I'll say take it back. They had entire sections. The Germans should have done Dam Busters on England, but filled with napalm. Wait, Dam Busters in England?
Legionaries.
Why? Like, why would that have been good? Like, I'm not following what you're putting down here, bud. Oh yeah, they did. They did. They had entire like supernatural departments. It's actually really unnerving whenever you look at the weird stuff they had. That's where Wolfenstein has a little bit of truth. Dam buster bombs. They're drums that skipped across the water to hit dams. See, we did that in World War II against the Japanese. Except they weren't like dam busters. We would just drop bombs at high speeds so they couldn't actually, dodge. With a torpedo, because torpedoes couldn't, torpedoes were fast, but not that fast. Man, these guys are just...
General!
I'll just move my general a little bit closer. God, it would suck to fight on a wall that big.
Legionary cohort!
Alright, they're just gonna force feed these guys to him, one after the other. But yeah, bomb skipping was a thing we did in World War II, where we would do these very low flying, essentially flybys on boats, and drop these bombs and just skip them across the ocean. And it's faster than dropping a torpedo, because the torpedo would go that fast, and that would give the enemy time to maneuver their ships. But with a bomb, it's not going through the water; it's going through the air, obviously, and it's just skipping across the water. So what it would end up doing is it would end up going faster, and they wouldn't really have a way to veer out of the way. I remember hearing in a documentary a long time ago, Hitler in time wanted to replace Christianity in Germany with an ancient Germanic paganism. In time he wanted to do that. I don't know about that, but I do know that Hitler, Mr. Mustache Man, made the comment on more than one occasion that he found Christianity to be a nuisance for the German people. He hated it. And I always found that an interesting thing, because he always found that Christianity to be a very weak religion. And on more than one occasion had said something akin to, God dang it, why can't I have Muslims? Because Muslims have that unending desire to fight. And I kind of look at them, I kind of look at that and I go, have you met Germans? It's like, have you met the German, he does not want Muslims. No, but he did like the fact that they had that warrior kind of spirit, which I thought was a very strange way of saying I don't know anything about Islam. Yeah, he did want fanatics too. I'll agree to that. Now, even funnier is that Benito Mussolini, whenever he conquered, whenever he kind of walked into Africa, he was presented the Sword of Islam by somebody, I forget who. But it was essentially he was gifted the Sword of Islam. I don't even know what that means, but like it's a physical sword. Very, very early in the war. You can get that without Islam. I mean, yeah, just look at a modern college campus. You can get mindless fanatics anywhere. You just have to train them the right way.
Legionary cohort! Move out! Legionary cohort! Cohort!
You know, I was thinking I might need another unit here, but I guess not.
Cohort!
Like, these guys are just watching, like, well, nobody's tagged us in yet.
Cohort! Cohort!
Yeah, no, I've often thought about, I say often thought, I haven't really dug too deep into what their indoctrination is for leftist fanatics. They won't believe anything but the message, no matter how much facts you feed them. There is that. But even then, that will only work for so long. What was the statement by Bezmenov? Is that you could show them, you could take them to the death camps of the Soviet Union, and they still won't believe you. Hitler started off in German beer halls. Easy to get fanatics when you get them drunk. He started off, I mean, well, yeah, but that was also a gathering place in general for people. So unlike the modern day where, you know, we would consider that to be just a place to go drinking. Have you seen the people who claim they'll vote for Kamala? I'm pretty sure it will last a while. Yeah, but they will only believe it whenever they're on the firing line. You know, those are the hardcore fanatics. They cannot believe that there's any possibility that the party would do them wrong. Oof, I'm hitting my own dudes. Stop it. Knock it off.
Wait for my orders! Cohort! Legionary! Cohort!
And yes, I've seen the people that vote for Kamala. My brother's probably going to be one of them. There we go. Well, at least I get to butcher an army with just a few dudes. Charge in, buddy.
Legionary! Cohort!
Okay, you guys have had enough. Let's trade you out. Like, I know y'all have had a lot of fun. I'm sorry about your brother. Me too. Me too. My brother is... My brother's retarded. And it's... I've tried my best to save him, but god dang it, you can only do so much.
Legionary cohort.
Some people just can't be saved. I'll admit that. Alright, okay, hold on. Time out. How do you pronounce that? Neferetiabet. God, I hate Egyptian stuff. Geisha finds it exotic and, you know, interesting. I find it just obnoxious. Honestly, any Democrat who votes for Kamala, I just go, I need you to explain something to me. But that's another story. We're not trying to get into politics. At least I'm not trying to.
Legionaries.
But yeah, no, I always find it very funny whenever some people say that, like Hitler was the defender of, like, I've heard, like, I've heard arguments on the internet. Let's put it this way. I've heard arguments on the internet, like, oh, Hitler was defending Christian Germans. I was like, he hated Christians. he despised them. He put up with them insofar as that he had no choice.
And now his men fear us. It is time to
But,
press
like,
the attack.
you know, like the Soviets, like, oppressed anybody of any religion.
Legionaries.
Oh, they leveled up. That's what it was. They evolved to Pikachu to Raichu. That's what it was. Oof.
Legionaries.
Kitty, come here. Come here, Kitty. Knock it off. Come on. Just finish him up. Just finish him up.
Legionaries.
Come on.
Attack.
RFK, Tulsi Gabbard, and Dorsey Trump should be a wake-up call to them. Are we the baddies? Oh, no. That won't be the wake-up call because they're just going to see them as traitors. Like, that's the thing, is that they'll never actually ask their questions. I've known a few people that have woken up. Like, I remember when I worked at a certain retail outlet, when we were discussing the Paris Climate Accords at one point, and I had a lot of fun doing that because I got to tell people, like, well, you know, guys, like, what is the Paris Climate? What are they going to do? And I had many people tell me what they thought it was going to do, and I just sat there and I listened, and I would tell them, like, okay, well, what if I told you that what you think it's going to do and what they say it's going to do are something very different? And they would get really upset by this because they're like, no, this is what it's going to do. And I'm like, no, it's not. And after I discussed it with them, they would say, well, where did you get this? It was like literally in the documentation for the Paris Climate Accords. You know, it's not about saving the planet. It's about basically redistributing wealth. It's a communist propaganda system. It's designed to rob you and me of money to give it to other Western nations who are bleeding money. Literally, that's what it's for. It is almost entirely a system designed to get Americans to pay for everybody else. They were saloons, so they were saloonatics. My God. That is the daddest of dad jokes of the evening. Well done. Well done. I'm not even mad. I'm not not only am I not mad, well done. Oh, that was good. Let's get some more fields, some waves of grain here. Do you have kids, or is this just a natural talent? Look, man, I don't care if it is a natural talent or not. I think it's great. $31,000 gold a turn. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Uh-oh. They're getting unhappy out there. No kids.
Orders. Sir.
Awaiting your command.
Get sleepy. Not yet, though. Not yet, though. How are you, DC? We have been ranging from topics related to literally everything across the board.
Ready to sail.
I don't even know where we landed anymore. Where are we? we have been all over the board now.
Order. Imperator. General. Move out.
I just store my dad jokes in a database. Oof, that hurts. That hurts. That stings a bit. That stings just a tad. Or just a dad. Gag, 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 gag.
Orders.
We're going to keep murdering Egyptians. Because it's what God intended. If God wanted Egypt to exist, he wouldn't have burned them so many times. Oh, speaking of cities that got burned off the face of the earth. And you know, this is a question for Guns and Knives.
They think themselves our equals.
So, Guns and Knives, what Egyptian city was burned off the face of the earth by God? Like, according to biblical prophecy, but according to biblical texts, which Egyptian city was literally scorched off the face of the earth? The answer may surprise you. Am I gonna lose even a single guy from there? Nope.
The siege towers are at the walls. Now the real
Wow, my armor is so tough that's how I got started. Oh god. Jeez, okay, jeez, my armor is tough. I rolled great that entire time. There's archers here. Ew, disgusting. Filthy. Vermin. That would be the city of Terrace. Although, and if you look where that city was, you see a wave of green followed by a pockmark of just sand.
The walls are taken.
It is just a pockmark of sand. There's nothing there. It is desolate. And according to the Judaic texts and the biblical texts, God basically says nothing will ever grow here ever again. It's like, damn. And it used to be a small little village. And I think it used to be the capital of Egypt. But God goes, nope, and burns it to the ground. Not only does he burn it to the ground, according to historians that actually have excavated the area in like the 1900s, when they excavated it, they said that it looked like a bomb went off. A bomb that was so massive it melted solid granite. So you have heat that would come through, or did he light a fart? Maybe he did. Look, when God lights a fart, people die, right? I'm not going to argue that. That would make sense to me. But essentially, it is. But from a purely historical like lens, it's a very weird thing that happened because it is a city in the middle of like the heart of Egypt that was literally burned out. When God gets angry, he gets angry! Yeah, no, exactly. When God gets angry, people die. Like, a lot of people die. So you shouldn't really do that. You shouldn't, like, aim... That should not be your aim. But I do find that interesting because how do you... That's all the enemy is. This is going to be fun. Exactly, right? We've got, what you got, eh? You got spears and shields, the hope that at the end, I'll be dead on the ground. Well, there goes half that army. Or half that unit. There goes the other half of that unit. Should I say it? Where does Pharaoh keep his army? Up his sleevey! Hey look, they're all dead. Anyway, so I'll leave tomorrow. I'll be back soon. Oh, okay, that was sad. Why is that sad? Anyway, so the reason I find that also so interesting is that it's little things like that in history that I find fascinating because there is no explanation outside of the supernatural. There's nothing that you can think. There is nothing that anybody made. It was like 50 people against all you had. It was over like 4 minutes. Well, yeah, but that's because I'm conquering Egypt. I'll give Myth a little credit. All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Give me credit. I'm waiting. I'm waiting to hear you say it. It's not my fault the Egyptians didn't bring an army to a gunfight.
The enemy general is slain.
Oh, look at him. He's
now
dead.
His men fear us. It is time to press the attack.
There's Frederick the Angry. Or Tertius Hadrianus.
Will be amazed at such a victory.
We can't repel an ego of that. We can't repel an ego of that magnitude! Yay! But anyway, so the reason why I bring that up is because the city of Tanis, I know they found balls of sulfuric where Sodom and Gomorrah once stood. That's because that's all that's left of them. Where the army is just a bunch of babies known as infantry. This is where you go you slap your knee and do it. Nicomedia. Mine. Look, I had to teach these people what bathhouses are, okay? Sorry, sewers, not bathhouses. Same thing, though. The reason why I bring it up is because the city before... Okay, so there's pictures of the city, I think in 1908 to 1913 when they excavated it. And what they did is they excavated the city and found out that there was essentially a center point of an explosion, and they could tell exactly where it is. Because as they went further and further out, the blocks of granite and rock were strewn like less and less and less, and the closer you got to the epicenter, the more it looked like an explosion. Did you teach them about Thanksgiving? You are in Turkey. No, because the Turks don't deserve anything. No, they don't even deserve lore. They barely deserve a nation. And I'll say it again. They barely deserve it. I had to teach these people roads. Turkey. Ridiculous people. Ridiculous nation. Let's see. Give me some more of these. Give me some basic Roman legionaries. I don't need these anymore. I got basic Roman legionaries coming in. I need spies, though. I need a spy out here.
At your service.
And Kyra.
Ready to sail.
Now let's see if that's enough to take these guys out.
Ready to sail. Set sail.
But yeah, the reason why I find it so fascinating is that there's no real logical explanation for what could have caused an explosion in the middle of a city that would have melted solid granite. And what you find is that if you can find some of the other pictures, you can still find them on Google. There are pictures of statues of what is it? What are they called? It's like the modern word is like a cryptid, but that's not what they would have called it back then. It's like the body of a man and like the head of like a lion or whatever. The city of Tanis is flanked by those, or was. And what you see like the ones that are the most severely burned. Chimera, thank you, chimeras. The ones that are most severely burned are the ones that are those statues. The ones that are just people, the manticore, not the manticore. Manticore is a type of chimera. But wrong history. You see those are the ones that have like half their faces just completely melted. And then the ones that are human, they're destroyed, but they're not as severely burned. Which is a very interesting scenario whenever they be in the same area. He just means mudblood animals in general. Or general, as Fokker says. But that's one of the things I find so interesting about that, is that there's obviously an explanation for it, but the answer is, like, we don't know what the hell it is. Like, there is no reason there is no force on this Earth, aside from, like, a sustained nuclear blast. Yeah, no, melting point of granite is 2213 to 2300 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hot. That's a way of describing it. Yeah, so is the surface of the sun. Like, your abilities in English preclude you from questioning my typos. Okay, that's fair. Look, this is a reason why I'm not a public speaker. I'm like, yeah, but the things, this stuff, the things, and there's the ozone layer opened up. Yeah, the ozone layer opened up. Everybody there was using aerosolized hairspray, and it just burned them right out. But no, it is a very interesting piece of history that up until like the 30s. Tell me about global acid rain again. Not real. But that's another story. the reason why I find it so interesting is the fact that Egyptian history is one of those things that has been purposefully obfuscated. Egypt does not want people digging into their past, especially when it comes to questions that they don't have the answer to. Be like the movie The Core. And so it is an interesting scenario because the city of Tanis now just has very generic kind of setup. So if you look at what it was back even in the 30s, it's a very different setup than what they have now. Egypt doesn't want you to know about the Goa'uld. Oh my god, okay, so just the other day I was thinking about buying the Stargate game. Because I'm like, is that any good? Mankind was once ruled by a race of giant parasites. They came from this region of... Yeah, this region. Don't even get me started about the conspiracy theory. No, we're not going to talk about that. Well, I won't do that. It's not conspiracy. It's an interesting idea. Let's put it that way. Which Stargate game? There's a Stargate strategy game. I don't remember it. There's a Stargate strategy game that came out recently. What was I going to order here? Oh, sorry. I was going to order a few rounds of Romans. That's right. I was ordering some Romans. Ooh, scorpions. Hell yeah. Give me some scorpions. How is it that these people are still so unhappy? I have oppressed them thoroughly. How are you still unhappy? Cadonia isn't as unhappy as you people are. Let's get some more of these guys in here. Let's get, we need archers, modern mythology, timekeepers. It's mixed reviews. And the Asgardians in that show were a lot shorter than the mythology described them as. Well, that's because the Asgardians in that show were essentially pretending to be what they thought the people wanted, essentially. That's what it essentially comes down to. Thor's hammer was a ship. Well, I mean... Nothing says I'm going to send you a message quite clearer than I'm going to send you a message via a giant laser beam from space. But anyway, let's see. Oh, more merchants. And we do love our mercantile class. For now. Rome runs on merchants. I can't believe I have a sustained 30,000 gold per turn and I still managed to spend it all. Yes, hence the lightning and thunder cracking. Well, I don't know if it's lightning and thunder cracking so much as ozone or the ozone parting. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just the smell of like burnt ozone. I mean, you know, everybody, if you've ever been near a boom or like a explosion, like you probably know what that feels like or smells like. That overpressurization, that weird smell in the air. Yeah, no, it doesn't. It's a very unique smell that's hard to kind of get out of your nostrils. Once you smell it once, you never not know what that smell is. I was talking about the ship. I'm talking about explosions. So I did get a chance to talk about Switzerland a little bit. And we talked about lots of really cool stuff in history that were all over the freaking board. Most of it about, like, theories. But I always enjoy that part. I never get to do that. I never get to do that anymore. Hey, look, another Egyptian army looking to get eaten by my units. Maybe we'll do one more fight. If they want to actually invade, maybe we'll do one more fight. Because we have a named hero here, and his name is Numerius Hadranius. Oh yeah, this guy already won a war. This guy already won a fight. What do they got here? They got chariot peoples. Well, back then, that can be a way to explain how a city melted. I mean, if you're telling me laser beams from space melted a city, it would change the context of many things greatly. I mean, hell, there's some people that believe that there was like flying machines back during the prehistory days, like, which is it's a theory. I mean, That's a theory. That's a thought. It's a weird thought, but it's a thought.
Fleet ready.
I mean, I wouldn't ascribe to it, but you know. I mean, hell, there were entire civilizations that were wiped out from meteor strikes. I mean, come on. Like, the world is a scary and chaotic place. Imagine one day you're just shopping and the next day is boom, everything is gone. I mean, hell, during the Bronze Age collapse you had that. I was thinking the ozone layer opening, but that could have been lasers. So, like, during the Bronze Age collapse, you had entire villages and cities that just disappeared overnight. They just, one day they were there. People were trading in like, the Alexandria region. Hello.
Our patience is limited.
Well, I'm sorry. I was, we have okay, ceasefire, trade rights. How about that?
A most generous proposal.
Yes. I'm going to try and strengthen you a little bit, because I need you to be more of a thorn in the enemy's sides here. I'm going to try and build up my enemy, so that they can attack the Broody Eye. Oh, hello. Well, hold on. We were friends 10 minutes ago. Where are you going? Build these nuts. Well, you don't build nuts, you grow them. Oof. Oh, these are dirt infantry. Oh god, okay, yeah, that's fine. Go ahead. I've got 3 units of archers and 3 units of Romans. That should be enough to hold the fort. I'm not even worried. This one, slightly more worried. Slightly, just moderately more worried.
Ready to sail.
Man, Rhodes is really unhappy. What the hell's going on over here? Squalor, distance to capital, culture penalty. And you people are super unhappy. Or the Roman city destroyed by the volcano. Kronos woke up or was pissed. Which one? Pompey? Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, somebody sneezed and then a volcano went up. That tends to happen in those parts. I wouldn't worry about it, though. Probably won't happen to you. You know, now that I think about it, I don't even know where Pompey, or the city of Pompey was. I know of it. I know the story of it, but I don't remember where it was. And I know it happened so fast that there are people that are, like, flash frozen almost in place. So I know that was an interesting thing. I got to see the exhibit when it came through Houston in the 90s. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, the only stuff that comes through my area now is the Egyptian stuff, and I'm not gonna lie, Geisha finds that stuff interesting and exotic. I find it fucking annoying. I don't like Egyptian history because I don't believe it. I don't believe almost any of it. I don't find the current version of Egyptian history a compelling history. I don't think that it's. They don't let enough research go into it for us to really know what it is. And so I just don't find it very compelling as an actual subject. Myth is like, Egyptians aren't real people. Well, I mean, if you want to get realistic, according to the Egyptians are gone. Like, the Egyptians as a people have been gone for a while. Walk like an Egyptian. You can walk like them, but there's a reason why they're gone.
Men, units, await my orders.
They got a battering ram and one of those. Okay.
Archer auxilia.
Oh, that's right. I got these guys.
Use fire. Archers. Extinct. Use fire. Archer auxilia. Archers. Move. Forward. Archers. Move out. Legionary. Units. Cohort. Forward. Forward. Legionary cohort. March. Move.
Ooh, they got sappers on the walls. God dang it. Okay.
Cohort. Forward.
I have it on good authority from the Bengals that the Egyptians are alive and well. I have it on good authority from many historical texts that the Egyptians are all gone. Burn that thing. Burn it, burn it, burn it, burn it. No, 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 no. No. Everything goes to that. Every single thing. I want that thing burned.
Destroy them.
And apparently don't find this song offensive. I want that thing dead. That's going to be my biggest problem. That right there. I don't even care about the sapping point. I just need the front gate to not go down. Good lord, is nothing going to break these.
Archers! Use fire!
There we go, finally. Okay.
Legionary cohort! Archer auxiliary! Kill them! Forward! Archers! Kill them! Archers!
Oof! I got them both. Nice. Its house burned to the ground. Hey, look, man.
Archer auxiliary!
Nice.
Move! Move! Cohort! Form take off fire at will! Guard this area! March!
I have to agree that the Egyptians are dead. It's 90% Muslim. No. It's just like there is no Egyptian anymore. Like the Egyptians themselves have been dead for a long time.
Legionary cohort!
Maybe partially because of the fact that the Greeks came in and then the Romans came in. But yeah, the Egyptian lines have been dead. Myth was right. Miracles do happen. I believe in miracles since you came along. You sexy thing, you. I believe in miracles. That's what I'm saying. The country is 90% Muslim, which precludes them from being Egyptians. I don't even think it's that. It's just that the actual, like, ethnic group of the Egyptians is just doesn't exist anymore.
The enemy are full of cunning. They fight like moles, not men. They are
I agree.
beneath our walls.
What bastards.
Unit! Archer! March! Quickly! Archer!
Get him!
Legionary!
Alright, so now's where things are going to get complicated.
Cohort! Destroy them!
The other ethnic Egyptians wouldn't have been Muslims. They were overrun by the usurpers, pretty much.
Legionary cohort! Unit! General!
Get him! Get him!
Archer auxiliary!
Why would you not put a tower here? It doesn't make sense.
Units! Hurry! Hurry! Units!
I do not want to be running out in the front there.
General! Legionary cohort!
The tower would block the view. Block the view of what? It's right here. It should be at a pivot point.
Archer auxiliary!
It would be the new view. You would see things.
General! Legionary cohort! General! Kill them! Cohort! Legionary! Unit! Cohort! Fight back! Waiting for orders! Legionary! General!
The wall is blocking my view.
Legionary cohort! Legionary cohort! Move! Legionary! Hurry! Legionary cohort! Kill them! Attack!
Get him!
Archers! Archers! Cohort! Attack!
Have you tried repelling the invaders? I am repelling the invaders.
Cohort! Attack! Attack!
Get him! That's what am I doing? Never mind. Go back. Go back.
Run! Cohort! Legionary!
These poor guys, they're gonna just get massacred.
Legionary! Cohort! General!
The fight's about half and half right now, which is not great.
General!
They might actually take the city, but I'm trying my best to not let them get in here, but
Legionary!
there's a solid chance they'll win.
Archer!
I'm gonna knock him out. I'm gonna raid bug spray squirts. Psst.
Legionary cohort! General!
Come on, break. Break! Alright, reform, reform, reform.
General.
I'm just handing them the keys to the city. No, I'm handing them the bridge to the city. So the walls to the city. It's very different.
Unit! Hold your fire!
Oh, back, back, back.
Move! Move! Archer! Unit! Unit! Fire at will!
And here come the chariots.
Legion be full.
Whee! There we go. That's better.
Legion.
To the walls, to the walls!
Legion be cold.
Balls to the walls. There you go. There you go. That'll help you feel better, right? You feel better that way?
Cohort.
Oof, that's unfortunate. Run away! I like how they just keep... There's so much ammo. Till sweat drop down my balls, till all my bitches crawl. I'll ski, motherfucker. I haven't heard that song in a long time. A long, long time.
Legion. Unit.
I will continue this battle. I will hunt them down until there's no one left to hunt. They will be given no mercy and no quarter. You knew Little John? I don't know him. I know of that song.
Kill them.
Of course I knew him. He's me. Wow. Little John is on my stream. That's impressive. I think that's a good battle to end it on. Good lord. That was an amazing battle to end it on. I was pretty sure I was going to lose that one. Yeah! What? Okay.
Glory.
Oh, dear. That guy's entire career was made off of those 3 words. Okay.
Ready to say.
I think with that, we're going to call it a night. It was really fun talking to everybody tonight. I really enjoyed the conversation. I hope we can have more of them in the future. So, thank you all for watching. I will see you all again really soon. Dave and Dave Chappelle. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all again very soon. Have a wonderful night, and I will see you on Wednesday. Take it easy, guys.